I learned something from that fight. Don't get hit.
What was that? There? Thought I heard something.
Still here. What do you want me to carry? You lead. I'll follow.
Still here. What do you need me to take? All right, I'll carry this for you. You go, I'll follow. What's more dangerous, a robber's shout or a vampire's kiss? Looks like that's the last of them. We really make for a deadly pair.
outmatched. Enjoy your last. You won't get away.
That's it. On to the next battle. Or the next enemy.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
I mostly deal with petty thievery and drunken brawls. Been too long since we've had a good bandit raid.
Don't see many people crafting with that these days. I can see you know what you're doing.
I had some good teachers.
Trouble?
A visitor! Always good to see a new face. Don't mind me though, just think of me as dust on the wall. So I am, my lord. But I'm still dust. The guards ignore me, and the flies pay no heed. So why should you? Would you believe me if I said I was friend? I guess it wouldn't matter much if you did, unless you're the new captain of the guard. No, I'm just your average horse thief. I suppose my presence here is proof that, I ain't a good one. You've got a keen eye, my lord. Not everyone notices that when I tell them what I'm in for. It was fear. Plain and simple. I was at the Sleeping Giant when I got approached by two shifty folk with hoods covering their eyes. The first one sits beside me and buys me a drink, while the other stands in the corner. He goes, "I hear you're the man to see about a horse." I tell him, "Sure, my lord, I am." He tells me he needs two. One for him and one for his sweetheart. I'm guessing a Breton girl by the size of her. The Breton made me real nervous, always whipping her head round to see if anyone was looking. But it was her hands that caught my eye. She had calluses tough as a goat hide, and all the dirt in Skyrim under those fingernails. She wasn't built like no adventurer. And she wasn't some college mage living in the city either, if you catch my meaning. I think she was a witch. Yes, my lord, I figured that's why they needed me, since I used to work the stables for the Ashwoods near Helgen. Except the gate was too heavily guarded. Falkreath was off the main road, but safer for a witch, I take it. Well, truth is, I was so sore at the Ashwoods, I probably would have stolen the horses for free. But that's no way to make a living. I told the boy I only needed one other rider. The girl could wait for us by Peakshade Tower, and I'd collect the rest of my fee there. Except when the job was done, it wasn't the boy waiting for me at the clearing. It was the witch. The whole ride west, I had that hag raven at my back, with all kinds of bad thoughts running around in my head. I don't know what it was that set me off. Maybe it was just the wind, but I laid my heels into that horse and rode as hard as I could into the city. It didn't take long for the guards to figure out the horse wasn't mine. But by Ysmir's beard, at least I'm alive.
Wait, this mage's name, was it Jocelyn?
As a matter of fact, milady, I think it was. You're not acquainted with her, are you?
She's my sister.
Oh, pardon my language, milady. If it's any consolation, I'm sure she made it to Cyrodiil.
Somehow I doubt that. My girls were waiting for her there for quite some time. Evidently, the snowstorm brought her back, and with it, my property. Now don't give me that look, girl. I don't care if your sister lives or dies. Meaning I'm more than willing to let her live, if it saves me the trouble of dealing with you. I simply want what is rightfully mine.
And what is that exactly?
Girl, this is hardly the place to talk of such things. Come to the graveyard. At least the dead share no secrets.
I didn't like this one bit. Jocelyn would not steal. Right, leave it to my savior to put things into perspective. Yes, we should only trust her as far as we can throw her. My arms are quite tired. Yes? All types. Bandits, wizards, heroes and alchemists. Oh, and skeletons. They used to be all four. Right behind you.
Helgen. Destroyed by a dragon. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Huh? Be careful.
I'm right here. I'll stand guard until you get back.
Mom says I'm getting a new mommy and daddy, so I'll have two of each now.
That's a question I have asked myself for weeks now. Am I all right? Will she be all right? Was it wrong to come here? I'm sick. I mean, it would be fine if it was just a cough, but, well, my body hurts so much I can barely walk. And those are the good days. I've already tried. I'd heard that Danica Pierce Spring is the most powerful healer in all of Skyrim, but she couldn't help me. I know now it's my destiny to die. That's why Archaea guided us here. It's an important lesson, one I didn't always heed. It's funny how the same hardship that makes us pray to the divines also makes us doubt them. Yes, believe it or not. When I was sure Henrietta was fast asleep, I'd crawl out into the forest and just let it all out. But all of that anger and hate left me the moment we came to Falkreath and met that sad couple. Here I was, feeling sorry for myself, yet my daughter is still alive. That's right. When I talked to Undara, I found out the girl they lost was about Henrietta's age, an Imperial girl like her mother. How can that be a coincidence? How is that not the work of the divines? I believe she will. I've yet to broach the subject with them because their loss is so fresh. Or maybe part of me is just unwilling to let her go. But I've told Runil of my intentions. Henrietta, my baby girl. Bright, talented, and just enough of her father's courage to be brave without being fearless. She complains a lot too, but I forgive her. Which part? And here I thought you were going to say the complaining part. Not that you'd be wrong, but it'd be sort of mean to say. My husband passed away not too long ago. She reminds me so much of him. If she ever asked me what he was like, I would have told her to just look in the mirror. He was a gallant man, and my best friend. Some would say we knew each other better than we knew ourselves. When the Great War began, he was one of the first in our town to enlist in the Imperial Army. He despised the Thalmor, and so did I. When the White Gold Concordat was signed, he defected from the Legion to join the Red Guard forces as they pushed the Elves back to Somerset Island. I supported him in his decision. I told him to go to Ghislaine, where the army needed soldiers most. That's where he met a girl, in a small town by the southern peninsula.
Mom says she does it for tips.
He said the same. He told me it meant nothing, but it changed everything. He betrayed my trust, and the vow he made before Mara. But Mara forgive me, I still loved him. That was the problem. But I also knew I couldn't stay in Hammerfell any longer. There were too many memories. I couldn't look at the desert sands without thinking about the war. And I couldn't think about the war without thinking about that girl. So we moved back to Cyrodiil, to Bruma, a place without sands or oceans. Well, things finally began to slow down. It took some time to patch our relationship back together, but we made it work for 20 years. And in the meantime, I had Henrietta. An alchemist told him about a magical plant that grows only in the damp forests of Valenwood. As a base agent, it could make a potion strong enough to cure any disease. Whether he found it or not, he promised to come back in a month's time for Henrietta's birthday. He never did. It was a foolish thing. A romantic thing, but the two are often one and the same. What did he think would happen to Henrietta if he never came back? If not for the guidance of the divines, I shudder to think of the consequences. Yes, I plan to stay here with my daughter until Arcade bid me leave. I've already arranged for a plot of land, away from the trees, where the stone faces east. Thank you. It's funny, when they told me about the grand cemetery at Falkreath, I was so worried it might be too large. I feared Henrietta wouldn't be able to find my headstone. But when we got here, I was relieved. The graveyard is so cozy, and the priest is a kind man. I am. I was afraid to die before, not knowing what would become of my daughter. I thought she would end up lost and alone, a child few people noticed and nobody wanted. Now my heart is filled with more trivial concerns, and I often forget how lucky I am to have them. I am worried she'll forget me. She's just a child, and the memories she has now will soon be replaced. I know when she's older, she'll remember Indara as her real mother. It's wrong to think so, but it almost makes me jealous. I just want to be a part of her life, even when I'm gone. Well, these last few days I've tried to tell her all the little things, the stuff she won't understand until she's older. How to brush her hair, how to tell when a man lies, the perfect recipe for apple cabbage soup. I thought if I showed her all the little things, the big things would speak for themselves. She wouldn't have to wonder how much I loved her. Yet, when I talk to her now, all my words float by like dandelion clocks on the wind. By the divines. Why didn't I think of that? That's a wonderful idea. Thank you, stranger. I think Runil has a quill and paper he keeps for his journal. I'm gonna get started right away. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a small favor. I know she'll be in good hands with Indara and Matthews, but if you could look in on her from time to time, make sure everything's all right, I'd appreciate it. Truly, the divines must have sent you to answer my prayers. Thank you again, so much.
The god Arcade was once like us, bound to winding mortality. But he willingly gave up his existence, that we might better understand the vagaries of life and death. It is through the ebb and flow of this cosmic tide that we find renewal, and in the end, peace. May the spirit of Lavinia and all those who have left this world and its suffering know the beloved serenity of Aetherius, and may we one day rejoin them in eternity.
A sad time. Our daughter, our little girl. She hadn't seen her 10th winter. He ripped her apart, like a saber cat tears a deer. We barely found enough of her to bury. Sinding came through as a laborer. Seemed like a decent man. He's stewing in the pit while we figure out what to do with him. If you've got the stomach to look at him. What could drive a man to do something like this? The cemetery is ancient. It's been here longer than the town. I'm no scholar, but I know that a lot of battles have been fought here over the course of history. After each battle, more dead were buried and the graveyard got bigger. I heard it's now the biggest graveyard in Skyrim. Yes, and I couldn't tell you why. My wife and I think there's some dark magic at work. Or perhaps Arkay's influence is strong here and he likes to keep it this way. I just don't understand what kind of man does that.
My husband Matthias and I tend Corpse Light Farm.
Strangers like you bring war. I've seen enough war.
Ghosted. War is not new to Falkreath. You have only to stand in our cemetery to see that. Oh, merciful Arkay, no. I'm too old and frail, and this graveyard is too large. Kost is my assistant. He helps me tend the headstones and keep our cemetery clean, as befits a place of rest. I'll teach you some of what I know, but be careful. Life is far too short, my friend. Don't waste it.
I'm right here. Lead the way, my hero.
Jocelyn's sister. She never talked much about you, but the girl never talked much at all. I thought she was a sodding mute. Which was good. I tired of young people and the endless flapping of their tongues. She made for the perfect apprentice.
Jocelyn would never join a coven. Something must have happened.
That's another thing about you young people. You think you know everything. So arrogant. For your information, your sister joined our coven and was otherwise happy until her greed got the best of her. Of course, it was only a matter of time before I caught the traitor, which is why she escaped into the very crystal she stole.
What do you mean? What crystal?
My, you're stupid. And ugly. The crystal is the property I was referring to earlier.
This is not the time for petty insults, witch. How did she escape into a crystal?
Young people, so impatient. The crystal is a key, a portal to another plane of existence. The legends say it would transport you to a paradise of eternal youth. Naturally, for someone of my years, this seemed like an attractive prospect. The devil is in the wording, of course. Eternal youth indeed. It's a curse. Anyone who enters the plane turns into a child. A child of body. And a child of mind. God knows I warned the stupid girl. But young people just do not listen. In any case, the only way to revive the crystal's power is to remove the soul inside it. Thus, our goals are one and the same.
Where can we find this crystal?
My girls tracked her to Bloodlet Throne, which means she ran from my coven right into a castle full of vampires. Sometimes I wonder if your sister is no ordinary fool, but the kind of fool so foolish that her name should be carved on the tree of all creation. As in Jocelyn Fairchild, the mother of all fools.
All right, Witch. You can tell me what you wish, but I've had about enough of you bad-mouthing Jocelyn.
That would not be wise if you wish to see your dear sister again. I am the only one who can open the portal. I would do it myself, but why risk my life when I can risk yours? In exchange, the girl is allowed to live. I trust we have a deal.
Fine, but try anything funny and I won't hesitate to take your head. I'm sorry for that display, my Jarl. I know you're not used to seeing me angry. I'm not used to it either. But when I talk to that hag... Perhaps my leash has matured. I am glad because as it turns out, we need her alive. As much as it pains me to see. That worked. Now I jest. Still, if the hag is alive, I do not know if Jocelyn can ever be safe. Is killing her the right thing? If at some point I know, I will tell you. Maybe a secret sign is not such a bad idea. How about if I scratch my ear? Nah, it may actually be itchy. How about if I say, I am hungry for a goat roast? Yeah, that will be the signal.
What are you two idiots babbling on about? Let's get going.
Keep an eye on the supply.
Shor's bones. Handsome man in Falkreath.
Take a seat and get the cold out.
A strong drink will chase off that chill in the air.
Depends.
Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both?
Those are some hefty scars, girl. I've got a new name for you.
Good day.
Target dummy.
I've half a mind to ask if you'll take me on one of your adventures, but I can't just leave Volga on her own.
Change my mind. Target dummies don't talk
Since
as
we're
much
here,
as
my
you
thing,
do.
I hope you don't mind if I order
Your
something.
face is carved up like a bloody whetstone. That's it. Whetstone.
Depends. Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both?
Welcome to Dead Man's Drink. Here, take a look at this. Here, take a look at this. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. The people of Skyrim don't like magic much, so about the only place you're likely to find a teacher is the College of Winterhold. Take a look. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
At some point we should hire Tekla on here. If she could just spend less time serving Dengir.
I wish I could afford to pay you both, Nari. I really do.
Henrietta, dear, I don't want you talking to the lady in black.
Why not? She's nice.
You'll know when you're older.
Need something? Farewell.
Nari's funny. She tells everyone how handsome and pretty they are. Mom says she does it for tips.